Hello, my lovely little titans. Moonsword 1994 with another Hangout. I hope your week was pretty good. Mine wasn't too bad, just felt long.
That decision in the federal court was a huge blow. Just the idea of having to retry this case after so many years.
You know, when you're facing the other challenge of having that one piece of critical
Hi, Era.
thrown out,
How you doing?
another big challenge.
But it would be a
Hi, Wolf. Yeah, not too bad. How about you?
His innocence.
I think he thought, without the letter, that he could just convince everyone that she committed suicide. He thought he could beat it.
Of Wisconsin versus Mark Jensen. This is a retrial. His retrial for the man who was poisoning his wife with antifreeze back in 1998.
I'm really hoping that it didn't freeze.
I thought Mark Jensen looked just as smug as he did the first time. A little bit older, but otherwise.
Oh, what book are you reading, Era?
Smug and arrogant
Oh, you
as
just
he
got
was
back
the
from
first time,
work. How'd that go
thinking
for you,
that
Wolf?
This time he'd get away with it.
Former District Attorney Robert Janbois had retired, but he wanted to come back for this trial.
This happened on my watch. I was going to make sure that justice was done in this case.
Seemed so delayed.
Helped shape the case without the use of Julie's so-called letter from the grave.
I told my husband, I really don't think you need the letter. There's so much evidence against this guy. And let's just do it.
Is the state ready to proceed with their opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Ms. McNeil.
Carly McNeil is the Deputy District Attorney in Kenosha County.
This is Julie Jensen. She's with her two sons, David, the older boy, and Douglas, the little boy.
The
I wonder
prosecutor
if
told
it did,
the
if it
jury
is
that the family
delaying
computer
itself
from
or something.
1998 would be at the center of the case.
You'll see in this computer evidence the research into websites about poisoning, and then specifically at
A coworker thought you had a child.
From the evidence,
That's funny.
we know that the person doing this internet research, that's the person who killed Julie Jensen.
Is
And we know
DPS
from the
only?
evidence that that person was not Julie. It was the
Is that the
villain.
book or is that something else,
Jensen
Era?
was showing no emotion, very
Hello,
irritable
Eve.
because of a hearing issue.
And as Julie lay dying that morning of December 3rd, 1998, he went to the computer room, and that morning, he searched for ethylene glycol poisoning. You can see the search term on the bottom of the screen here.
Man, that's some old school Google there.
She didn't kill herself, she lived for her kids, and she died because the defendant murdered her.
Hello, Sean.
The defense is going to do their opening statement.
Oh, the name of the book is DPS only. Interesting.
Mackenzie Renner was
What's it
assigned
about?
to the defense from the county public defender's office.
What brings us here
And you're
today
good, Eve.
is Julie Jensen's
Thank you for the apology, though.
suicide of a woman who was in declining mental health. At the very
Only
end
took
of
a
this
minute to
trial,
convince him I
we're going to
didn't.
be asked
Well,
to
at least you were able to
answer
convince him you
one question.
didn't.
Did the state prove to you
I don't know what you could have
beyond
done that would.
reasonable doubt
I really don't know what you could have done to convince him, like, that
caused Julie's death?
convinced him you had a child, other
Or
than
did they prove to
you
you
occasionally buy
that
kids
Mark
stuff.
Jensen wasn't a great husband, was kind of a jerk?
That's probably the only thing I could think of, though. Like, or maybe you talk about your nieces and nephew,
Doesn't take the
and for some
most
reason he
intelligent
assumed they were
to
yours.
pop up
At least one of them.
search engine and type in something. The evidence in this
Hello.
case is
Oh,
absolutely
cool.
going to show that Ms.
Venice,
Jensen
nice.
was suicidal. The evidence is going to show that Mr. Jensen, while not
is not a murderer. He is innocent, and he is not guilty.
Man, how long ago was that? They had those kinds of hearing aids. That looks like a stethoscope without the wrong part.
Was a neighbor and close friend of Julie's. Members of the
So
same
about video,
We did start
only on page
kissing
57.
kids with Ruth Warwell
On page 57, and you don't know if it's about video games. That's funny.
It was just shocking, and it just broke my heart. I mean, I was a young mother
Huh.
with two young boys.
But,
She was a young
like,
mother
what's
with
it
two young
about so
boys.
far,
It's
Era?
just- it's like, how is this possible?
Maybe, but he said he heard that I did, so I don't know who said it.
He was literally standing
I don't know who would have said you had children,
joking with a
Wolf.
group of men the entire time, but he just lost his wife, the mother of his children, and he's
Hello,
acting
Justin.
like he's at a cocktail party. It was upsetting.
It's the city of Romeo and Juliet.
And then a school teacher for Julie's son.
I thought it was 2 cities. I thought there were 2 cities in Romeo and Juliet.
Teacher conference.
Chief
Were
was
they?
worried that he was going to try and kill her with an overdose or something.
Was Venice one of them?
When you're having this conversation about Ms. Jensen's fear about her husband killing her,
I don't know. It's been a while since I've read Romeo and Juliet or seen
He
the
never mentioned suicide.
90s movie.
did she ever say anything to you about whether she would commit
The 90s movie is, like, hella accurate, by the way, so
Protect her
um,
relationship with her kids. Because she said
if you ever want to watch it, it's got Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. Watch it. It's 100% accurate, like, dialogue-wise.
Kelly Jensen or Brooks?
Setting-wise, not so much because it takes place in the 90s with guns and stuff instead of swords, but it's really accurate as far as dialogue. Like, it's just straight from the book. It's great. One of the best tellings of Romeo and Juliet I've ever encountered.
It would have been, I believe, around September.
September of 1998?
Yes.
It was 3 months.
Competitive video game sports. That sounds
And so then on Friday, October 16th,
interesting.
1998 at 9:21 a.m., he emails you, hey, want to run off somewhere? I do love you.
Yes.
I wish YouTube would just auto translate when it's not in English. I feel bad, but I can never respond properly.
Time to clean up our lives, so to speak. I was thinking what a lovely way to spend your birthday. Uni, sunsets, ocean, champagne, no outside issues.
So when you're considering whether this cruise can be a reality, you got to clean up your lives first.
Right.
I'm aware what Romeo and Juliet is. It's just I was trying to remember which cities it took place in. Because I know it's 2 cities in the northern part of Italy. I just can't remember which 2 cities, and I'm trying to remember if Venice was one of them, but my brain is just fried on that. Because I didn't really enjoy reading Romeo and Juliet. I actually am not a big fan of that story at all.
informed at Chris that there are ways
It's
to
just,
kill your wife
it's not one of my
that are
favorites.
detectable at autopsy.
Hello, Jay. Good to see you again. Things are well. Just talking about Romeo and Juliet, and I'm trying to remember where it took place in. Racking my head for that one because I hated the book. I hated the book. The movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes isn't bad. Like, it's really awesome. Ooh, Wolf, that was fast. I didn't even see that. Must have been bad. Just watch Lion King too. I mean, you're not wrong at all. we had this discussion. Yeah. My first idea of love. Yeah, love is that story. Hella toxic. Happy May 4th for Star Wars fans. Yep. May the 4th be with you.
That's correct. I was not planning on killing my wife.
And then we have the 5th, which is Revenge of the 5th. Which I think it's a pretty cool thing that we have 2 Star Wars days back to back. It's awesome. Thank you. Merlos, thank you. Hello, M.
Next witness for the state is Aaron Dillard. So, Mr. Dillard, you're wearing prison clothes, is that correct? That's correct. So you're an inmate right now?
Dillard and Mark Jensen
Between Titanic and Romeo and Juliet, the boys time satisfied.
Aaron Dillard told us that Mark,
Yeah, he really did, didn't he?
like calling Jews.
That, come to think of it, Leonardo DiCaprio dies a lot in his movies, kind of like Sean Bean.
The next after that? Yeah.
Hello, Wally.
At that point, he had her on his side, then he rolled her on
Hello again, Justin.
was seeing how she was doing.
Who am I? I
Saying she wasn't
just
making it worse.
random
So at that
YouTuber, I
point,
guess.
he felt nervous and
House Museum and Fantasy Creative Park.
sat on her back and pressed her.
Nice.
Did you tell what happened when he sat on her?
That's really cool, Alexander.
Yeah, she passed away.
I'd love to go see that. And we're drawing. No, I haven't been coloring lately.
An inmate could have come up with this information was Mark Jensen told it to him.
Super cool 90s baby. That's very kind of you, Jay.
You testified that you have a special skill set. Do you remember that?
I don't know if it was a special skill set, but it was just I was able to get people to talk or get things that I wanted.
That's what caused you to decide to push for information so that you could tell your attorney and get
Who's the best here? I have
Well, it was for
no idea.
trying to see how far you go. And then he went.
So you are so cool. I don't know. That's apparently the consensus between Jay and Wolf.
you get the antifreeze, and then he just gave you a full confession.
Pretty much worked out like that. He told me about the Edward Group thing and then went into the rest of it.
Now, there's another deal for you for your testimony today, isn't there?
I don't know if it's a deal.
You
or
are
not.
cool. Well,
It's up to their prosecution,
thank
you
you.
know,
I
whether-
appreciate that.
Truthfully, as determined by Mr. Jamboyce as it was in 2008.
What do I do on YouTube? I cosplay.
And in that case, you got no jail.
Watching Chip and Dale with my kids, I hated it.
No further questions.
Don't feel too bad. Don't feel bad. There is hope, I promise. My niece and my daughter, we got them to watch Kim Possible, and now they start singing the theme song randomly. I'm like, I succeeded somewhere as a parent. But my daughter hates other shows that I've introduced her to. She's not a huge fan. What really surprised me was how well she liked the Goofy movie. Both of them. It's like, oh, she's not gonna like this because it's, it's not princessy, it's not whatever. And then, nope, she loves the Goofy movie. She loves them both, and I'm like, they made a show, right? She went, what? A show? But then I showed her an episode, she wasn't all that interested. So, it happens, it's a trade-off.
Julie Jensen's suicide risk? I do. And what is that opinion?
It is my opinion with a reasonable degree of medical certainty that Miss Jensen on December 3rd.
May 2nd was the Battle of Hogwarts. Yes, it was.
But on cross-examination, prosecutor Bob Jamboyce focused on the fact that it was Mark who had noted the sleep problems in the doctor's report.
So the only issue of sleep problems didn't come from Julie Jensen, did it?
That's correct. It came from Mark Jensen.
Yes, Mark Jensen. And Mark Jensen, in addition to her being a husband, is also a murder suspect. You're aware of that, correct?
He was not at the
Do
time.
I play games?
His wife, Julie Jensen,
Not as much as I used to.
was trying to murder her. You were aware of that, weren't you?
Yes, but he was not a murder suspect on December 1st.
Definitely not as much as I used to.
His wife suspected.
And when I did, I played a lot of RPGs.
Yes.
Do I like horror?
Your excuse, thank you. Who's our next witness?
Well-written horror, yeah, I do.
David, can you tell us
Horror that doesn't really serve a purpose.
Mark Jensen and Julie Jensen?
Like, I'm not a big fan of the Saw series.
Like Al as an adult, he was called
Or Nightmare on Elm Street. Or Chucky. Or
was 8 years old.
Friday the 13th. Or any of those. I like, I don't know, I just like horror movies that have kind of a reason to be there. Like, I like Crimson Peak. I like The Interview with the Vampire. I like Bram Stoker's Dracula. Just, it has to have a decent plot, basically. Saw is pretty gruesome, right? I know. I have never really watched a Saw movie all the way through. I watched like the highlight reel of it. It was one of those YouTube channels that does like the how many kills in such and such series, and I watched that, and it gave a pretty good indicator of like what this series was about. And I'm like, this is a way better way of watching it than having to suffer through all that other shit.
You understand that the decision whether to testify is for you to make, and what is your decision?
Interview with the Vampire is really old, cool. Oh yeah, definitely. Hello, alien. Do I have a kid? Yes, I have one child.
Miss McHale, you can do your closing argument.
Good morning, everyone.
One child.
2023, this year is the 25th year stolen.
And it's not passing the 5 check.
With her death, Julie Jensen lost David and Douglas. And in death now, nearly.
Oh my god, I just had a flash to 2020 TikTok when that dude was doing the vibe council or whatever, and he would just basically screech not a vibe to stuff. Like, what? Like, it was funny sometimes, and I'm just like, what the fuck? 2020 TikTok was bizarre. That was a fever dream. Bro, it's like 1 a.m. where I am. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Do I like to go to school? When I was in school, I enjoyed it. I primarily enjoyed university. Then go to sleep, dude. No, do not stay up just to watch this stream. I will never encourage people to stay up to watch my stream. I don't do that. That sucks. Never had TikTok. Usually watch YouTube. I didn't really have TikTok for a while. Like when it first came out in the pandemic, I didn't have it. My ex had it, and he would show me a lot of the videos and such. I finally got it when I had nothing else to do with my time. I was stuck in a 2-bedroom apartment with him and my newborn child. I had no job. I had nothing to do, so I eventually got on it.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Mark D. Jensen.
I just finished watching a horror movie. Nice. 10:48 here in Denver. Oh, it's 9:50 where I'm at.
I was elated. I was absolutely elated.
Wait a minute, doesn't mean Attack on Titan is horror fantasy. Yes. I believe it's actually classified as such. Yeah. It's definitely, whenever you search it on Netflix, it pops up with horror. Who is the best, Say or Rin? Oh, is that, God, I can't even think of the name of it. I can't even think of the name of it, but I know who Say and Rin are. I just can't think of the name of it. God damn it. I feel like I'm failing Mother's Basement because he did a whole ass video on it and I don't remember the name of it. I just know he did a video on it. Because he said it was a decent example of an isekai done right. God damn it. Era! Go to sleep. You don't have to be up. God damn, I cannot think of the name. But I think everybody voted on Rin, so I'll just go with Rin.
prison sentence has to be life in prison. I can't change that. The only issue for the court is whether the defendant will be eligible for parole. What he chose to do is to torture her for a long time. This antifreeze, the theory that somebody would drink that to commit suicide, I don't buy that. It was intentional, it was researched with a purpose for evil. He's not getting any parole eligibility. It's too serious of a crime to depreciate. It was too
Do I watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? No, I've seen clips of that show. I think I tried to watch it once. I just couldn't get my head around it. Which, it's no there's no shade on the show at all. Hello, Poppy. No, you're not late. I'm not really discussing much other than, I guess, genres of movies and such that I've watched and if I like them or not. Somebody asked me what horror movies I like, and it's pretty much anything that's a decent plot. I don't do horror with horror's sake, like Saw or Nightmare on Elm Street, any of those. I don't do those. It's happening on my show tonight. Do you guys know Law and like the Law YouTube channel? I can't remember, Law and Trial or something like that. They turned it into a show on ID, I think, and I'm just watching that. It's basically like they rehash murder cases, but they show the trial footage. So I'm watching that. It's really interesting to see how it works in court for murder cases, because you think it's all dramatic and shit, and it's really not all that dramatic. I've only seen one so far that was dramatic, and they handle it a lot differently than they do in the movies. Have you seen the horror movie The Thing, 1982? No, I don't think I have. Like I said, I don't watch a whole lot of horror. Mine basically has to be like a fantasy horror, as somebody pointed out. Horror elements, but like fantasy setting. Like Bram Stoker's Dracula or Crimson Peak. You're not my mother unless you cannot make me. Well, I'm aware of that era, but I can strongly encourage you to go to bed. What about The Exorcist? Oh, I know what The Thing is. I've heard of that one. I have heard of that one. Interesting concept. Definitely a lot of mindfuckery in that one. Have I seen The Exorcist? No. I've seen clips of The Exorcist. I watch a lot of older movies that I'm not super interested in through clips. I don't know if he would. I'm pretty sure he just would have gone around murdering everybody. Just to... You know what I miss? I miss the channel Sci-Fi. I miss the Sci-Fi channel because not only would they have really cool shows, so Saw is just too realistic. Yes, Mike. Yeah, Saw is very realistic, so that could happen. Pretty sure people have tried to emulate Saw. You can survive anything and everything. True. We've seen The Conjuring from 2013. No, I don't think I have. I did see Insidious. I did see Insidious. Loved the lore. Not a big fan of the whole movie. It freaked me the fuck out, honestly. I did not watch it. I've heard of Ed and Lorraine Warren. I've seen clips. My ex was really into horror. He would try to get me to watch that stuff, and I'm just like, I feel like certain types of horror movies is just inviting trouble to your door, so I stay away from it.
We know now that there were definitely some issues.
Saw Paranormal Activity. Oh, Jesus. No, I did not watch. Again, most of the time when I've seen a horror, like certain horror movies, it's through clips. Because a lot of them, I watched the movie The Witch, and I thought it would be, you know, I mean, it's a great movie. It's just not one I'm going to watch ever again. It's a little too much for me. It was very well done. I thought it was very well done, but I had some issues with it. Just on a personal level, I had some issues with it. And again, nothing against the movie. It did a great job. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It made you very uncomfortable, and yeah, could not watch it again. I already told you what I thought of it. I said it was really good. He did a good job with it. Although I was surprised to see that the song "You See Big Girl" was for Reiner and Bert. I thought it was for Annie just by the name of it. Scary. For me, I just watched the Scary Movie series. I understand all the horror movies with comedy. Okay, yeah, they're actually starting that series back up again, Mike. I'm sure you already knew that though.
And then you could tell with Andrea's last text to him that she
Yep.
was done.
No, you did a really good job with that video, Poppy. Like I said, I just couldn't believe that song was for those two and not Annie. Like, why would you have a song called "You See Big Girl" and it's not about Annie? What? That doesn't make any sense. It's just, whoa. Go, here you go, girl. Damn, that girl's strong.
On this day, she did not show up for her workout, and she did not show up to work.
Just saw a really cool girl just like totally do push-ups with like a 50-pound weight on her back. I watch horror movies to see if it scares me, plus I like horror movies. Fair. That's absolutely fair. Did we lose Jay? Probably. I did not, but that's awesome. Yes. They are picking up the Scary Movie series again. I don't know. I'm glad it's not a remake, but damn, at least maybe they'll be funny. All I know is the next, like, 8-12 movies that are coming out are pretty much just going to be sequels. So it was nice to see that the Scary Movie series is like, we're going to make Scary Movie, like, what did they say, 5 or 6 or something. Whatever they ended at, they're going to make the next one. I'm like, you know what? Cool. Good for them. Those had some decent moments. Yes, Attack on Titan is considered horror. It's fantasy horror, if I recall correctly.
There's a lot of unanswered questions in this case. I will call it what it is.
Oh, the Winnie the Pooh one? I wanted to see that one so badly. I'm kind of mad that it sucked. Kind of really mad that one sucked. Because you could do so many cool things with something like that, with an IP like that. Especially if you want to take it to the horror route. Let's remake all the Disney shit or the Grimm stuff as the horror it was intended to be. Let's do that. Let's do that instead. I feel like Jordan Peele makes great scary movies. I will agree with you on that one. I will agree with that one. Why can I never think of the title? I can see the fucking everything else. I just can't remember the goddamn titles of anything tonight. But the one that made him really known for being a director. And then the one with the Mirror Earth of People. Those were Really well done. Yeah, Us. Thank you. And then there was the other one, and I can't remember.
Had sent somebody to the house to have surveillance.
And then they followed him all the way to a gun shop.
I can. It pisses me off. I can literally see both. And oh, Get Out. Get Out was the other one. Get Out and Us. The original Jurassic Park books are horror and science fiction. You want to know something horrible? There's this company that's trying to do Jurassic Park. It's got brain fog. I always have brain fog because I didn't know this, but it's been discovered recently that any woman that has a child loses, what did I say, gray matter in your brain. You get more white matter than gray matter. So, yeah. The brain, like when moms say they have brain fog, it's real because their brain is being slowly transformed into more white matter than gray matter, and it happens with every kid. I'm not gonna recommend it one way or the other. If you want, you'll know yourself if you want kids or not. If you are afraid of it, then probably best not to do it. If you're not afraid of it and you're game for it, go for it. But understand, it's not what they make it seem like. Watch Bone Tomahawk. Damn. What do I study? Nothing at the moment.
Developing tonight, deputies are widening the search for Andreen McDonald. Dozens of people join in on the search for a missing San Antonio woman.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of people.
Pax on having a baby.
We did about 4 searches a week from sunup to sundown. And we have to make ourselves aware of our situation because we have
Yeah, after having a child, I will, any woman who wants to have a child, I want to sit them down and explain exactly what goes into having a child. Like, I don't want to. Gray matter, I thought that's what alien from bed. It is, but it's all, your brain's also composed of gray and white matter. Oh, it's not just like people hear lack of sleep and they just think, oh, I'm gonna be tired. They do not understand that it is the most exhausted you will ever feel in your life. Like, it is it is bone. It is on another level of tired. Like, you don't people don't understand unless you have kids or are like, you'll never understand. It's the worst tired in your life. Did you hear they found a dinosaur embryo? I'm not freaking surprised at all.
It's hard to know because of her autism.
Props to you for pushing through. Yeah, right. I have no choice. Screaming constantly. That's dependent on baby, but it's not. It doesn't help. It really doesn't help when you're bone tired and you have no energy, no way to think, and you have to take care of this tiny screaming thing. I'm not sure how true it is though. Well, they're trying to clone dinosaurs and mammoths and shit, so could be. My daughter's doing well, thank you for asking. I would obey only you. Well, thank you. Not constantly, but enough to make you crazy, which makes all the cute moments so much better. Dude, I barely remember the cute moments. If I didn't have pictures, I don't think I'd know that anything happened that was cute. Because I think back to those first weeks, and I'm just like, all I remember is the exhaustion. So, they're not dire wolves per se. They are a uniquely genetically modified organism. They were created by splicing the DNA of gray wolves and dire wolves, so they're not even 100% dire wolves. Levi, because Freddy Krueger requires you to sleep to be of any to be of any threat to you, and Levi doesn't sleep. What the fuck is our species doing splitting DNA? Exactly what they've been wanting to do for the last 50, 60 years. That's why Jurassic Park was so popular. Like, that was what people wanted to do. Honestly, I think I can see the appeal. Myself, I love genetics. I love the idea of being able to break something down and rebuild it and reconstruct it, but I wouldn't go so far. All good, Cheyenne. They made woolly mice with CRISPR. This is why we can't have nice things, right? Yeah. People ruin it. You're good, Cheyenne. Haven't missed anything. We're just chatting about, well, now we're chatting about crimes against nature, I guess. With genetically modified animals. It's really sad because with cloning, it's so unstable. And I'm not just saying that because it's a cloned thing. I'm saying that because, like, with cloning, what you have to understand is the cells have a half-life. They have a very short half, like, their cells die faster than what the actual organism, like, that it's based on. Like, Dolly the sheep only lived like 4 years. And mice can live, or it's not mice, sorry, I saw the word mice. And sheep can live a lot longer than that. But because the cells were made in such a fashion, it gave them even less divisions as possible. So they died faster. That's what the problem with clones is, they die faster. So they can't. With genetically engineering humans, you can't. We are not at the stage where we can create a human without a lot of interference. Like, making embryos is about the furthest we've gotten. We can't even do quote unquote designer babies, really. Because humans have not been able to completely unpack the human genome. We know where things are. We know what certain things look like on the genome, but we have not been able to identify where in the sequence certain things really fall and how to adjust those without completely unraveling the structure of it. You'd be right. Mike. Oh my God. I think the Attack on Titan universe is scary enough with just shifters existing. We don't need to put clones into it. I know which episode that came from. You guys are bad. Awesome, but bad. Yes. Fortunately, humans are not smart enough that we can unravel our own genome yet and completely and accurately to tell where in each, like, where everything falls in a sequence where we can mess with it. We can't do that.
And as prosecutors looked into his family background in Jamaica, there was a strange discovery.
Because what they're doing with, what they're doing to make the clones is essentially they have to have a source. We can't just make something from nothing. There has to be a source. And a lot of what they're doing is just copying the source material multiple times and then getting enough of it that they can make their own being. They can't just make it. They can't just will it into being. They actually have to have a source code. It's like a computer program. You have to have a source code, and then you have to do certain steps to sequence it, to program it. It's just them taking, it's just like a big computer program, but with genetics. Oh, Jesus, Mike. I finished Humanity's Greatest, the first one, so that one doesn't have any cliffhangers, and I'm almost done with the second one.
We couldn't say whether she was stabbed, whether she was choked, whether she was poisoned. So
Like when these people who claim to use witchcraft as magic, it's just does not happen. Yeah, you can't just create nothing from something. Sorry, you can't just create something from nothing. You have to have a source code. You have to have something in order to do anything with it. So again, that's why humans just kind of, we peaked at the embryo thing right now. Otherwise, if we were able to, we could create, and I know they were trying to do this with stem cells. Don't come at me. I know it's weird, but they were trying to create organs and stuff from stem cells, but it's like you still have to have a code, like a source code to do that. What they were trying to do is basically just make something from nothing, because the stem cells didn't have any programming, but you had to have, but in order to make it what they wanted, they had to get the stem cells from whatever organ they were trying to remake. And what they were running into was that the stem cells may be clean cells, but they still carry the imprint of the genome, of the original with them, of the original genome with them. So when they created whatever they were trying to create with it, it carried over the diseases that had been imprinted in the DNA with it, and it corrupted the new thing that they made, the new tissue or whatever. Exactly, Poppy, exactly. But again, they were running into the problem where you can't create something without having something else to make it from. But the way they were making it from, it was just basically making the same thing but with the same damage, which didn't help them. Funny. So, yeah, that was a big issue. That's why you haven't seen a lot of progress made with making human organs out of tissue and whatnot, is because they just can't. Where, like, they can say cloning, but like I pointed out, cloning has the issue of the organ would have less time than an actual organ would. What, Poppy? So bad. I mean, I don't know. Maybe even if we had cloning capabilities like that, with the ability to create new organs that could work for somebody, I don't think we would ever see it actually work, because it would disrupt black market organ trade. She said something similar to him.
The prosecution's first witness was Andrene's sister.
My name is Cindy Johnson.
But no,
I was nervous.
I think if they did come up with the ability to do cloned organs, like on demand, we still wouldn't see it, because it would disrupt the organ trade.
It was difficult for her seeing her brother-in-law, seeing the person who killed her sister.
Did then tell you why he was calling, what his purpose was?
They want us to know the truth.
That'd be interesting, Poppy.
Told Cindy as well as Maureen was that they had an argument in the bathroom.
She keeps coming up in his face and arguing and saying terrible stuff to him.
After he said that she was arguing with him, but he said
But that's not cloning, is it?
I don't remember.
That's just making a shifter.
Push with or drop down, drop her on the floor.
did he say after he caused her to go onto the ground, what did he do next?
He used his foot and stomped her.
He said he used his foot and stomped her. While he was stomping Andre, which is on the ground.
So all I'm seeing, sorry, based on what you've written, that's all I'm seeing is they're just making a new shifter.
Yes. Andre was missing and he left and go take Alina to put her to bed.
Did he say what happened next?
After he put her to bed and came downstairs and if you realize that Andre was dead.
Oh yeah.
Then took more than a week to lay out its including the axe.
Honestly, Stan's top. If I had to pick. No, they take a dead person, a piece of him, and makes it smile. So here's the thing about the shifters. Oh, we were talking about genetics and cloning for a minute. Okay, a piece of it. Okay, so with the shifters, there's a reason that the spine is so important. It's because that's where the parasite lives that created whatever shifter it is. So you cannot have a shifter without, you can't have any the spinal fluid won't work if there's no nervous system. There has to be a nervous system in place, because that's where the parasite lives, and the host is in the nervous system.
It's very non-specific, and all of the injuries are non-specific.
Yeah, that's essentially what The Last of Us is as well. I will say, of all zombie media, Last of Us depicts a more accurate portrayal of what would actually be a plausible zombie apocalypse, with parasites taking over the host and make there is a parasite that takes over ants. It's a fungus, and it brainwashes them basically, and they can control it, and it does things. I've done a ton of research on this because of fan fiction purposes. But anyway, that's why I like how The Last of Us does zombies, is it's very realistic in it being a fungus. Because if you look at the creatures in Last of Us, they are fungus creatures. It's really bizarre and cool at the same time.
Was there anything different about Andre's demeanor or how she was acting spoke to her that day? Yes, sir.
No. Nope. It has to have a nervous system. It has to have a working, functioning nervous system. Otherwise, it's an inhospitable environment for the parasite. That's why if the shifters die, they die. Like the parasites go looking for a more suitable host. They can't bring them back from death. That's why the only reason Aaron lived was he was touching Zeke at the right time, and the royal blood and the founder thing activated at the right moment. That's the only reason why Aaron survived getting his head cut off. Because technically that should have killed him, because that killed everybody else. But whatever, plot armor shit. But based on what we know, it needs to be a pair. You have to have a living host. And I'm going to argue this. Armin was alive when they turned him. Armin was alive. He wasn't dead. Armin was alive. Oh, stop it. But Armin was alive because Armin is the narrator of the story. And Armin was able to hear what was going on around him. Just like they thought Erwin was still alive, Armin was still alive, even though he was cooked. Goth Stan's great.
And McDonald said when he got home, Andreen began using curse words from their native Jamaica.
I always thought Goth Stan was pretty cool. Is Levi emo or goth? He'd probably just be goth. Think he'd also be what the fuck? No. Hi, Mike. Great. Honestly, I find it really hard to believe that Levi would do anything that would compromise himself like that. Like when people say Levi smokes, I'm like, Levi wouldn't smoke. Are you kidding me? It makes everything smell like cigarettes. And it would just, it's just like a physically filthy habit because you're like flicking ash and you have lighter, like, and he wouldn't want to smell like cigarettes all the time. He wouldn't want wherever he's living to smell like cigarettes. So I don't think Levi would ever smoke. I know people do it because it looks, they like, oh, that looks cool. No. I mean, aesthetically, yes, it looks cool, but really, I don't think Levi would smoke. Oh, I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that one somewhere. But yeah, I don't see. I don't know why, and it's not like I'm against characters being written like that. It's just make it the characters that would be believable. Like I could see Hanji being a chain smoker, to be honest with you. Like I could 100% see Hanji being a chain smoker. I could 100% see Hanji being an addict of like Adderall or some shit. Although with her, it might make her calm down. But I mean, they make Mobley an alcoholic. That's 100% believable, and I would 100% support that if people wanted to write it that way. I just don't see Levi as a person doing something that would fundamentally compromise him in that way. Like, he doesn't drink in canon at all. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't really sleep. Like, he's unhealthy in different ways, but it doesn't affect him. But at the same time, it's like, I don't see him doing something like smoking because it would ruin whatever space he was living in. It would make it smell. It would make him smell. There's no real 100% way to get rid of the smell, no matter what anybody tells you. Again, I don't see him drinking, even though people like to make him drink. Like, I don't see him drinking regularly. Maybe every once in a while. And I don't see him doing drugs. Aaron I could see doing drugs. Aaron I could see being a huge pothead. Honest to God. But no, I just don't see it with Levi. It just doesn't make sense to his character. Grell with a chainsaw. That's true.
So years.
I could almost see that.
But you're not sure why. I'm not sure why, but you told the Buccaneers.
I could actually see Levi of the group being the one that would actually like give meditation or fasting or something like that an actual shot. I don't know why. It just seems to make sense to him that he would actually try meditation. Not because he believed in the spiritual aspect of it or anything, but maybe just to like clear his head sometimes. Aaron would be too fidgety and too pissy. Armin would be thinking too much. Sasha and Connie would fall asleep. Jean would kind of think it's dumb, but he'd probably be good at it. Mikasa wouldn't even try.
I was aware that there was a big surge going on throughout March when I was incarcerated.
Nice. I like that, Cheyenne. Fast maybe as a kid after getting away. Yeah. I could see that. But again, like there are things I can see him being good at and things I can see him not doing at all. Like, I would never see him doing drugs no matter what. I could see him occasionally drinking maybe, but he doesn't even drink in canon when there is alcohol. Boblet's an alcoholic, so we all know it's available. Can't even say he's a true blue caffeine addict either. Because, yeah, he drinks tea, but it's not like he has a problem with it. But I couldn't see him smoke either. Again, just the smell alone would drive him nuts. The smell of cigarettes would probably just drive him crazy. And he gets it seeps into everything. Like, you can smell when somebody's smoking. That's why I don't think he would smoke weed either. It was just the smell. Like, it would bother him because of how clean he is. I see him having OCD. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't have problems. Like, he has OCD for sure, and he might have some other issues, but I just don't see him being somebody who smokes or does drugs or any of that. That's just it. Levi's a responsible adult. Responsible adult in that respect, sure. Responsible in other ways, probably not. I think they've done a crossover of Attack on Titan. Life is Strange. His temper, though. He actually has pretty good control of his temper. He doesn't lash out as much as we think he does. We just see the highlights. Of course, another gun. Well, to be fair, Kenny was trying to kill him. And to be fair, he is pretty nice to Eren. He was just going to let Eren get away with a swift kick in the ass for the rumbling. That's pretty good, I'd say. And the courtroom was not him losing his temper. The courtroom was a stage thing. And even when Eren accidentally shifted, or couldn't shift to begin with, he didn't go off on him. He went off harder on Historia than he ever did Eren. Eren, he was like a softie too. Or like he didn't let Eren get away with bullshit, but he never like was intentionally mean or cruel. He was very mean to Historia. In the manga anyway. And then in the show, not so much. But in the manga, because like I understand why he was so pissed at her. It was like they were on the run, they were wanted, they had no idea where Eren was, they had no idea what was gonna happen to him, and then this little shit who could solve all their problems is like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna do that more. He goes, nope, you're gonna fucking do it, because I'm not dealing with this political bullshit anymore. I can understand that. Eren deserved way worse. I know, but seriously, there's a panel that Levi goes, if you knock this shit off right now, I'll let you get away with a swift kick in the ass. And I'm like, wow. He really does like Eren. I mean, that scene where Jean and Eren were fighting and then Levi comes and ends it was just fucking hilarious. He let them get... Like, he didn't even lose his temper. He was just annoyed. He was just like, you guys are fucking annoying me. I'm gonna kick you in the balls and make you vomit, and then we're gonna be caught alive good. Hello, Arsalan. Levi's a troubled parent. Levi is, really. Nice. That sounds awesome, Cheyenne. Hello, Arsalan.
Self-defense, and if not self-defense, manslaughter.
You, each and every one of you, have to do what you think is justice. But I'll tell you what, when you're all done, it's still going to be a tragedy. Terrible, terrible tragedy.
Ooh, that sounds delicious, Cheyenne. How do you think Levi would handle Aaron if he acted like Cartman?
We had a long deliberation.
A good portion of one afternoon, one evening, then the judge allowed them to go home, and then they came.
I honestly don't know.
It was a full day of deliberation.
Call the Bratz, yes. I know. I feel like Levi was justified in how he reacted to his story. Not. He would have done that to any of them. Let's be real. It had nothing to do with like her being a girl or any of that. He was just done. He was just at his limit. He was just like, we can end this, and you're not going to end it. No, you're going to end it, and I'm going to tell you why. And yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with that. True. That's fun. That sounds like fun, Cheyenne. To be honest with you, yeah, he would have killed Cartman after the first shenanigan. All right, my lovely little titans, it is that time. Thank you so much for chatting with me. I really enjoyed talking with all of you. I had a lot of fun with the genetics chat. That was really good. But I hope you have a great night, a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.